Walt Disney presents... We bring you this week, from Walt Disney's wonderful world of color, holiday time at Disneyland. And now your host, Walt Disney.
Ching, 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 ching.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, Walt!
Oh, Merry Christmas,
Yes,
everybody.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings.
Well, this is very unusual weather for Southern California. In fact, it's impossible. But since Disneyland is a magic kingdom, we thought we'd use some of that magic to create a traditional Christmas atmosphere.
Hello, Walt.
Well, hi, Santa. Is everything ready for our big Christmas parade?
Everything but the weather.
Yeah?
Personally, I feel right at home in this snow, but it's not so good for a parade.
Well, maybe you got something there. Okay, Tinkerbell. Turn it off. Now there, how's that, huh?
Much better, Walt.
Oh, sure, you
Why,
can have our
sure,
autograph.
son.
Right, you first, Santa.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure you spell it right now, yeah. There, all right. Now,
Who's that other guy?
well, after all, it is your day, Santa, so make the most of it, you know. I got 365.
I see what you mean, Walt. But since I'm going to be in that parade, I'd better get ready.
Well, good. Santa, here's a little present from Walt to Santa Claus.
Oh, thank you very much. Just what I needed. Jingle bells,
Yeah.
go all the way.
I'll see you later, Santa. Well, during the Christmas holidays or any other season here at Disneyland, Main Street, USA is the happiest, busiest Main Street in the world. There's always something going on. Over 30 million people have jaywalked along Disneyland's Main Street on their way to the other land. People of all ages, creeds, and nationalities. Among them have been presidents, kings, queens, princes, rulers of nations from all over the world. There's Prime Minister Nehru of India. And here's Ike and Mamie Eisenhower with their granddaughter. That's Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, the King and Queen of Nepal. This is former President Kubitschek of Brazil, and the Shah and Empress of Iran.
Main Street, USA, Main Street, night or day. Here's the brightest part of town, in the very heart of town. Happy thoroughfare, fun for all to share. Every day's a wonderful holiday on Main Street, USA.
Childhood dreams come true. Adventureland has thrills to spare for travelers who venture there. From the jungle boat you'll see a land of hidden mystery.
Tomorrowland you'll see and do everything that's bright and new in this most fantastic place. Race ahead in time and space. Every day's a wonderful holiday in Disneyland.
Disneyland looks forward to Christmas and all of the other traditional holidays. But in between these dates, we create our own holidays and special events. Now, when a new addition to Disneyland is completed, we throw a big celebration with parades, brass bands, special entertainment, the whole works, including fireworks, and everyone is invited. And all of these festivities start on Main Street.
That's why, excuse me, Walt, but would you please tell these kids of mine that there is going to be a Christmas parade? They're driving me out of my... Well, you know how kids are at Christmas time.
I know. I have 5 grandchildren to answer to myself. Yes, there is going to be a Christmas parade.
Will Santa Claus be in it?
In person. And the parade of the toys and a lot of other things. But you've got a lot of time before it starts, so you can go out and enjoy yourself. But be back here on Main Street and get yourself a nice seat on the curb so you won't miss anything. Huh?
Thanks, Walt. I'm going to be ready for a nice, comfortable curb in just a little while.
Come on, Pop, let's go.
All right.
Well, while we're waiting for the parade time, let's turn back the calendar to some of the seasonal holidays and special events we celebrated here at Disneyland. Now, last spring, we held our annual Easter parade. Naturally, the activities all started on nostalgic Main Street, USA.
Main Street is a favorite thoroughfare for historic automobile clubs to parade their prized antiques. The gay Easter bonnets were not limited to ladies only. They were antique vehicles for the younger generation, too. Easter at Disneyland is a field day for camera fans. Distributing candy Easter eggs is a catch-as-catch-can event. For those too young to catch a piece of candy, there's always a tasty thumb. An old-fashioned balloon ascension was the climax for the day. It's the same balloon that traveled around the world in 80 days. Before the countdown, there's a traditional christening and good luck ceremony. Everything is okay for takeoff. Sand is released. It's condition go. Disneyland's annual Easter festivities continue down below, the balloon drifts wherever the breezes carry it.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Walt.
Christmas, Walt. Well, thanks, kids. Merry Christmas to you. Have fun. It wasn't too long ago when there wasn't even a molehill where Disneyland's Matterhorn now stands. It's the only man-made mountain in the world and one of our most ambitious projects. At the same time, we had completed two other major additions in Tomorrowland, the monorail and the submarine voyage into liquid space. Now, naturally, these three big events called for dedication ceremonies and a big celebration. So, we declared a special holiday in Disneyland. And naturally, the big kickoff happened on Main Street.
Everyone loves a parade, especially Walt Disney, who's having a grand time with his grandchildren. Motion picture stars, Annette, Roberta Shore, and the Shaggy Dog. Here's the famous Firehouse 5 plus 2. Mickey Mouse leads Walt Disney's cartoon family of famous storybook characters. In their shining armor, the Knights of the Carousel. A canine representative from Scotland. And here's a gay 90 number, the Horse Car Ballet. Frontierland's entry, the Golden Horseshoe Float. A float honoring Disneyland's brand new Matterhorn Mountain. These mermaids are on their way to take part in the christening ceremonies of Disneyland's submarine fleet. So, from Main Street, USA, the celebration moves to Tomorrowland. Charles Kirkpatrick opens the christening ceremonies with host Walt Disney. With the traditional words, "I christen thee, Nautilus," the flagship of Disneyland's submarine fleet is ready for her maiden voyage. One of 7 submarines, the Nautilus heads out for an adventure into liquid space. first passengers get a breathtaking view of undersea scenes as they submerge. While the Nautilus continued on her first voyage, another Disneyland attraction was about to be officially opened here in Tomorrowland, the monorail, America's first passenger-carrying system of its kind. For its official opening and dedication, Richard Nixon and his family were special guests. Also, motion picture stars Robert Cummings and Mr. and Mrs. Fred McMurray, who watched Julia and Tricia Nixon cut the ribbon and start the monorail on its first scheduled run. Someone forgot to sharpen the scissors. Well, when there's a schedule to keep and a mountain still to be dedicated, other methods are necessary. From other points along the extended system, other monorail trains carry full loads of passengers over this highway in the sky. Since its opening in 1959, the Disneyland monorail trains have carried over 10 million passengers. The dedication of Disneyland's mountain, the Matterhorn, was, of course, the biggest event of the day. The start of these festivities was signaled in traditional Swiss fashion. Before you can dedicate a mountain, you must first climb it. For this event, professionals were on hand to scale the sheer face. These sure-footed experts are members of a mountain climbing club. And Swiss flags were placed on the pinnacle in a tribute to this massive addition to Disneyland. Getting down is another problem, which involves the law of gravity and a technique called rappelling. That's Ronnie Robertson, Olympic champion and star of John Harris' famous ice capades. since it's a Swiss mountain on American soil, let's switch from a Swiss schottish to American swing and sway.
Shout for the highest mountain, yes, it can be done.
On the other side of the Matterhorn, the bobsled ride is about to be officially opened. This bobsled and its happy crew start the first run.
Ever since Disneyland was first opened, we've had the stern-wheeler Mark Twain here in Frontierland. 3 years later, in 1958, we added another historic ship to this big river. She is the Columbia, a replica of the first American ship to circumnavigate the globe. When it came time to dedicate this historic ship, we chose the 4th of July. And as usual, Disneyland's celebration of the glorious 4th began on Main Street, USA. And in keeping with tradition, it all started with an old-fashioned circus parade.
Balloon! Balloon, balloon, fire balloon. There you are, Sonny.
Old-fashioned circus parade is an almost forgotten sight. This one on Disneyland's Main Street was one of the last of its kind in America. Organizations and drill teams join in this 4th of July parade. And on this American Independence Day, all of the nations of the free world are represented. beauty, precision, and plumage on parade. Meanwhile, over in Frontierland, the do-si-do and swing your gal set are dancing up a storm. Here's the famous wagon wheel dance formation, just as the pioneers used to do it. Celebrating the fourth Frontierland style includes friendly Indians and a rootin', tootin', shootin' affair between the bad guys and the good guys. Crime doesn't pay, not even when it's all in fun. Another page of American history came to life in Frontierland when the sailing ship Columbia was christened. And so this replica of the first American ship to circumnavigate the globe joins the Disneyland fleet. In keeping with Navy tradition, a ship's Bible is presented to the Columbia's acting skipper. Full crew and her decks filled with passengers, she heads downriver on her maiden voyage. The Columbia and the log fort greet each other with real 4th of July salutes. By sail or by paddle, it's all part of the fun on this big day in Frontierland. Canoe through fast water and rocks takes teamwork. Of course, a real Indian guide makes the big difference. Around every bend in the river, there's a reception committee waiting. It's no wonder when ducks fly into Disneyland, they make it their permanent home. Another feathered reception committee welcomes all river traffic into Indian country. Are learning how the first Americans celebrated. Members of the Drum and Feather Club, representing 17 different tribes, add color and excitement to this 4th of July celebration. festivities reached a fast tempo, everyone looked forward to nightfall and the spectacular fireworks. A new kind of magic takes over at Disneyland after dark, especially on the 4th of July, when all of the lands stage a fantasy in the sky. Another glorious 4th is commemorated in the spirit for which this Independence Day was conceived, for the pursuit of happiness.
Well, the toys are going to start the parade down there by the castle, and it's getting near time, so you better hurry down there and get yourself a good spot on Main Street so you won't miss anything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Walt. Hope you
Hurry
enjoy
up,
it.
Pop, it's almost parade time.
Well, by this time, there's several thousand people on both sides of Main Street. But we've reserved a very special place for you so you won't miss a thing. Well, that's my cue. I got to take my place in the parade. I'll see you later.
On Main Street, do what the Main Streeters do.
The March of the Wooden Soldier.
organizations set the theme of Christmas around the world for the next section of the parade. To help fulfill the spirit and purpose for which Disneyland was conceived, many organizations, clubs, and historical societies are welcomed here as Disneyland's guests. People from all over the world add to the pageantry and gaiety by keeping their traditions and customs alive as they enjoy themselves with their families. Palestine, where the first Christmas took place. Switzerland's St. Nicholas and these robed figures date back many centuries. The traditional Yule log of medieval England and the carrying in of a festive board. Finland's old man Christmas with his elves. Norway's Santa Claus with his traditional pet goat. Yugoslavia says, Merry Christmas. Mexico on parade with their Christmas piñatas filled with candies and gifts. China. Japan. Disneyland is always happy to hold open house for these representatives of other lands to participate in these Christmas festivities. The three wise men who followed the star to Bethlehem. These skyborne ornaments signal the end of the parade and the beginning of the night festivities.
The candlelight procession now approaching down Disneyland's Main Street is composed of church and school choirs from all over Southern California. In just a few moments, the choirs will gather in front of the railway station at the town square. Christmas tree is formed by the Western High School a cappella choir. One thing about the art of the animated cartoon, there are certainly no limits or restrictions in the casting for a picture. For example, the stars on our next program are a couple of hats, a house, an automobile, and a tugboat. Odd casting? Not at all. As you'll see on our show, Adventures in Fantasy.
Johnny Fedora met Alice Bluebonnet in the window of a department store. 'Twas love at first sight, and they promised one night they'd be sweethearts forevermore.
To work as a cartoonist is truly an adventure in fantasy. As Walt Disney points out, when he takes you behind the scenes to share the fun with some of the most entertaining characters ever to flow from pen and brush.
Chug, 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 heave-ho, my lad. I'm a big toot just like my dad. Pull big boats with your heave-ho, and away we go.
Time next week. The place right here for Adventures in Fantasy on Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color.